Previously, I played and reviewed Madoka Magica etc. on Steam, and was ultimately disappointed. My question remained unanswered. How do you adapt a grimdark story into an RPG? To its credit, that curiosity led me to Puella Magi Madoka Magica Portable developed by Namco Bandai. And so, my quest continues. Will my question finally be answered? How would I adapt such a tragic, soul-crushing anime into an RPG? But first, what is Puella Magi Madoka Magica? Puella Magi Madoka Magica, or Madoka Magica for short, is an anime led by 5 girls who form contracts with Kyubey to gain magical powers and battle interdimensional witches. What begins as a light-hearted adventure of heroism soon collapses into a grim, existential struggle for survival. Not just against witches, but against themselves. The PlayStation Portable adaptation follows the anime faithfully, no scenes excluded. Interestingly, you play as Kyubey, whose goal is to persuade Madoka into signing an exploitative contract, all while being thwarted by Hamara Ikimi. However, you, the player, are far from helpless. You'll use every opportunity to instigate, incite, and deceive to achieve your goal. That's right, you are the villain, a master puppeteer. Every choice you make influences karma, which determines each girl's potential as a magical girl, and emotionality, which affects how quickly their soul gems corrupt. Every action they take is a byproduct of your design. After all, magical girls will become witches someday. It's inevitable. And your true intent. The first chapter follows the anime, leaving little room for deviation. But once we move on to Mami's chapter, Only If You Are By My Side, things start to get interesting. Each chapter represents an alternate timeline within the same story, offering new opportunities for deviation.
あなたは危機一髪だったね、マミ。彼女は最近魔法少女になったんだ。ちゃんと紹介したいけど、そんな暇はなさそうだよ。マミ、戦えるかい?
Besides learning more about Mami's backstory and her character, this structure gives you chances to sabotage her emotionally. Recall that your objective as Kyubey is to convince these girls to sign contracts to exploit their emotional turmoil until they become witches. Every choice you're given makes that intent crystal clear. Yes, you could guide these girls toward a better conclusion, but that would mean being grossly incompetent at your job. This is a Faustian tragedy, not Kyubey's ethical dilemma simulator. It's far more entertaining to watch their emotional meltdowns as they spiral into witchhood.
明美穂村がそばにいることが大きいかもしれないね。そうなのかな。マドカにとっての守らなければいけない存在。彼女が一緒にいることで、マドカの魔法少女としての自覚がより高まっていると考えていいだろう。
久しぶり。相変わらず透かしてんじゃん。
あなたは変わってしまったわね。
うるせえな。あんたに何がわかるのさ。
それで何の用？
せっかくだからさ、どんなやつか見物していこうと思ってさ。
マドカをここに呼べばいいのかい？
そっか。もちろんキューベイはどんなやつか知ってるんだよね。
キューベイ、余計なことをしないで。彼女に近寄らないで。見つけたわ。ここ魔女だけど、それほど強い気配じゃない。
そうね。早速要さんを呼びましょう。
マミ、マドカをわざわざ呼び出すほどのこの程度の敵ならマミ一人でも十分倒せるんじゃないかな。以前の君はいつだって一人で戦っていただろう。
One final push.
そのために君はずっと訓練をしていたじゃないか。
本当だわ。キューベイの言う通りね。
私いつからこんなに人に頼るようになっていたんだろう。やっぱり今日の魔女は私だけで倒す。いくら仲間だからって一人で何もできないんじゃ恥ずかしい。
And now we shall see the witch she will become.
これソウルジェムじゃなくてクリーフシード。でもこれマミさんの。
もう私は魔法少女じゃない。
こんなことになっちゃうのね。マミさん、カナメさん、危ない。
Ah, yes. Sweet, sweet emotionality. Disposable currency spent in the name of despair. Each chapter is its fun little experiment. How will this girl self-destruct? Sure, I manipulate events to push them toward ruin, but ultimately, they destroy themselves.
キューベ、どこにいる？どっかで見てるんだろ？キューベ！
While I enjoyed my time as the villainous puppeteer, it's frustrating that every chapter arrives at the same conclusion. Mami's chapter lets you face the final boss head-on, but Sayaka's and Kyoko's stories abruptly end in defeat. Likely because Hamara's chapter, The Destiny Could Be Changed, is specifically designed to conclude that arc. Understandable, but disappointing. Losing all that momentum only to have it reset leaves the experience feeling abrupt. Moreover, in order to progress to later chapters, the game requires you to complete each girl's story without them becoming witches, directly contradicting your intended role as Kyubey. It's ironic, the game encourages manipulation and corruption, yet penalizes you for fulfilling your purpose. Mami's Walpurgis Night is practically unwinnable. 2 magical girls, limited MP and items, and a long battle of attrition. There's even a specific attack that resets your progress if you fail the DPS check, ensuring you'll run out of magic before the final engagement.
みんな、あとは頼んだわよ。
This defeat by exhaustion only fueled my determination to try again in Sayaka's chapter, where I had access to 4 magical girls, only to be disappointed by an abrupt end. It seems the Walpurgis Night can only be properly challenged in Hamara's chapter, which unfortunately hasn't been translated yet. The translator is still working on it, with completion expected sometime in 2026 or later. Very unfortunate because the final chapter reverses the roles you play as Hamada Akemi, whose goal is, well, you decide, because her route has the most alternate outcomes depending on your choices. A shout out to the translator for his incredible work in making this game accessible. I truly appreciate the effort you've put in. Until the translation is finished, I'll have to put this game in hiatus. For now, I'll rate the game based on what's currently available and revisit it once Hamara's route is complete. Sure, I could play it blind and brute force my way to the end, but I want the full experience. At the very least, my original question has finally been answered. Though I personally disagree with the decision to turn it into a dungeon crawler instead of a traditional turn-based RPG, I can see why that choice makes sense given the source material. Puella Magi Madoka Magica Portable is an excellent adaptation of its source. I respect the bold liberties the developers took to bring this dark, tragic tale to life. For those wanting more Madoka Magica, I can strongly recommend this adaptation.